Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of my Star Wars media collection. Unfortunately, my first camera was running out of camera space, so I'm shooting this one on my kind of bad audio camera. Audio's not good on this one, unfortunately, so I'm hoping everything I say comes out clear. Video is not particularly clear for some reason. Haven't figured that one out yet. I don't know why the camera's so bad. So anyway, trying to think of what to talk about next. How about something that's not Star Wars at all? How about I talk about Spaceballs first? I freaking love Spaceballs. It's a really fun movie. It's definitely my favorite Mel Brooks movie. I'm not a really big fan of Mel Brooks movies. His humor just doesn't really click with me, but I really like Spaceballs. A lot of the jokes work. They're rapid fire and they get close to being the type of thing I'm not really into, but I really like Spaceballs. It's awesome. And you know what? Screw it. It's a Star Wars movie. It's There's no way Spaceballs would exist without Star Wars. What next? How about I talk about Robot Chicken Star Wars? Yeah, I'll talk about all the goofy Star Wars stuff. The first Robot Chicken special is really fun. Look at that. Oh, and the boxes. Okay, it's okay now. And then here's Robot Chicken Star Wars Episode 2. Another really fun, dumb little special. And then Robot Chicken Episode 3. Love that part. So the Robot Chicken specials were a lot of fun. There was also those Family Guy specials, which I used to have on DVD, but I ended up giving them away because it's on TV all the time. Like for a while, every time I would turn it on Channel 40 or on CW and they were playing Family Guy reruns, it'd be the Star Wars specials, which they cut up into like individual episodes. Initially, I really liked the Family Guy Star Wars, but I just ended up seeing them so often because they're always on TV. I just kind of lost interest in them. And the third one I never really cared for to begin with. Some of the jokes just drag on for way too long. They're not very funny. I didn't They were kind of like running out of ideas, I think, by the time they reached the third one. A lot of the parody elements just didn't really work. It was also at the time when I thought Family Guy was really going downhill and I was really losing interest in it. Like the characters had completely changed at that point in the show. They were not the characters they were at the beginning. So moving away from that and into other silly stuff, Riff Tracks Star Wars. I have a whole bunch of customized Riff Tracks Star Wars DVDs. Here's the Riff Tracks DVD of the holiday special. Even though I'm pretty sure the Riff Tracks commentary is on that other DVD I have. Oh well, whatever. Here's this one, and it's really funny. It's one of my favorite Riff Tracks. And it's even got disc art. Isn't that nice of whoever bootlegged this? And then here's Star Wars Episode 1 on bootleg Riff Tracks. DVD-R, and no disc art this time. Because it was super cheap. Anyway. Uh, oh, and only Mike Nelson and Kevin Murphy were here, so no Bill. That's weird. Why isn't Bill here? Huh. Oh well, whatever. It's okay. I don't like it as much as the holiday special, but it's fine. Then we got episode 2. Again, yeah, it's fine. Oh, and again, only two people: Mike Nelson, Kevin Murphy, no Bill, but we got Chad Vader, who I'm kind of familiar with. I don't know him. I guess he's like part of like an internet meme or something. I never really got too big into Star Wars internet memes, so like I've never really been a humongous Star Wars fan, like getting super into the fandom or anything. So I don't really know a whole lot about what's going on inside the fandom. I know what I like, and I like what I like. So here's Revenge of the Sith, and oh, finally, all three of them are here: Mike Nelson, Kevin Murphy, Bill Corbett, and it's really, really funny, and it's awesome to have all three of them there. It's awesome. Not my favorite riff tracks, but it's really good, especially for Star Wars. I think it might be one of the better Star Wars ones. So then, let's see, other Rift Tracks things. Before I get to the sequel stuff, here's Rogue One. I think this might have been one of the first customized Rift Tracks DVDs that I got. DVD-R, bootleg, crappy. Also, I think, trying to remember if, what's Disembodio? I think this is one of the ones where he, like, pops in occasionally and says stuff. Or maybe I'm thinking one of the other ones. Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, Rogue One is my favorite of the Disney Star Wars movies, and the riff is really, really funny. I really love it. I love that they put the tentacle monster on the back there. That's funny. And then, sequels. I don't have any copies of the sequel trilogy, like, just normal. So here's the Rift Tracks version that I have that someone customized for me. I didn't hate Force Awakens, but I didn't like it either. I remember when I saw it, it was when I was kind of out of Star Wars, and I saw it, and I was like, yep, that's Star Wars. Didn't really have any substance to it. It's Star Wars. It made me kind of lose interest in Star Wars. Like, I watched this and I was like, well, that was very mediocre. And then, let's see, I did own some sequel trilogy DVDs. Then I got rid of them when I got the Rift Tracks because I'm probably never going to watch just the normal movies on their own ever again. I watched Last Jedi. Disappointing. It's a very weird movie because it makes me think of things that no other Star Wars movie has ever made me think, and not in a good way. This just makes me, like, think about the practicality of how everything works, and it also made me very aware of the choices that went into writing and character development in all the other Star Wars movies, and the prequels, which I had previously considered to be kind of weak movies, like Attack of the Clones. It's alright, but it's definitely one of the weaker movies. Then this, eh. Like, some people really like this one. I can totally understand why someone would really like this. I don't really understand why people are so adamantly, like, ready to defend this movie. Maybe because there's so many people who say it's bad, so the people who kind of liked it have to overcompensate and say it's the best Star Wars movie? I don't know. I'm not super big into Star Wars fandom, so if anybody wants to write me a novel in the comments telling me about why Last Jedi is actually like a masterpiece, go ahead. I still don't like it. uh the whole B plot with Finn and Rose going to rescue horses is really pointless. Really pointless. Especially since it never really comes back in any significant way in the next movie. That was one of the weird things with the sequel movies is they didn't really feel so much like movies on their own. They felt like they were setting up another movie. I don't think that's a very like episode 1 kind of does that too, but it also does have its own identity and feels like its own movie. I don't like Attack of the Clones, but it does feel like its own movie. It has a story that begins and ends. Same with episode 3. With Force Awakens, it's kind of hard to find story beats in there, and I find it hard to connect to the characters because the characters just don't have a whole lot going on. I really liked Finn, but that's more because I like the actor. The actor did a really good job. He's really charismatic. Rey and Poe and the robot and Kylo and I'm sure there's characters I'm forgetting. They don't really make any impression because I just wasn't impressed with them. I did like Kylo in this movie because he kills Snoke, and I don't like Snoke. I thought Snoke was freaking stupid, and I hated him. I just wanted him dead. I don't know what it was about Snoke I didn't like, but yeah, I didn't like him. Also, I didn't really care for. Yeah, I'm going into a lot of negativity with this movie, and I'm sorry. I'm sure you've heard it already from a lot of, like, way bigger and way more, like, relevant Star Wars fans. But yeah, I thought character motivation was incredibly weak in this movie. I thought they focused a little too much on. They focused so much on trying to, like, go against expectations that they just kind of shot themselves in the foot, and they went so far against expectations, they made a movie that very few people actually like. And then comes Rise. It's bad. Some people will say it's good. It isn't. It's a garbage movie, worse than Last Jedi, even though this like ticked me off far less than Last Jedi did. Last Jedi made a lot of choices with the characters and the story itself and the plot and other like completely different characters. Uh, and then this one comes along and like tries to cobble together a story from some vague things and other move. I didn't like bringing the Emperor back, even though it is kind of similar to Dark Empire, a comic and book that I really liked of Star Wars. I used to be big into Star Wars books and comics. When I was really little at the grocery store, for whatever reason, they had a ton of Dark Horse Star Wars comics all the time. So I'd read a bunch of them. I bought like maybe two. Most of the time, yeah, I'd read them and leave them there. And I was really into them. And when I was a little bit older, I was reading like the big Star Wars novels by like Kevin J. Anderson and Heir to the was it Heir to the Empire? I don't remember now what the name of that was. And then there was that really famous one, Shadows of the Empire, or was that a video game? I don't remember now. Anyway, with like Thrawn and Zizor or Ziz. How do you pronounce that dude's name? He was a green dude. He had a purple robe on. They made a toy of him, and it was kind of cool. Don't remember what exactly his name was, but whatever. Moving on. This was just kind of a confusing mess, but they brought back some old actors, and that's kind of cool. I get the feeling that's kind of what J.J. Abrams wanted to do more than like tell a cohesive, like deep story like what they were trying to do with Last Jedi. With Last Jedi, I can at least appreciate that they were trying new things and they wanted to tell a really meaningful, deep story, and it didn't really work for a lot of fans. A lot of fans thought it was lame, but and I did too, but A for effort, I guess, or B minus for effort, because the movie was still a mess. This movie went back to more like what Force Awakens was, but it also had to follow up on Last Jedi and deal with that movie's mess. And then they also did the stupid thing of bringing Palpatine back, and I didn't like that. And I also didn't like Palpatine being Rey's father. I thought that, or grandfather, clone, uncle, whatever. I thought that just made everything way too connected. Rey worked better as her own character. I didn't like her becoming a Skywalker at the end either. I thought, again, it connects things too much. Have her be her own person. Whatever. So moving on to something I like. Here's Rogue One. I really liked Rogue One. I remember I had seen something online. Like, I wasn't really following Star Wars. This came out after Force Awakens, and I wasn't really too interested in seeing it because Force Awakens just didn't impress me. It wasn't bad, I just wasn't impressed with it, and it didn't give me, like, hope for future Star Wars movies. But I happened to see online some people talking about CGI for Tarkin, and I was like, bringing Tarkin back, what? And I looked into Rogue One, and turns out Rogue One looked like a pretty cool movie. And it was playing in a theater nearby, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll see it. It was on a free day, I wasn't working that day, so I went down to see Rogue One, and it was really good. I really liked it, and it remains my favorite Disney Star Wars movie. It's actually one of my favorite Star Wars movies, period. It's not perfect, there's definitely flaws with it. One of the problems is it's a little too cluttered with characters that don't really make a huge impression. Though I feel like the Andor show right now is helping that a bit, because Cassian was one of the like less developed characters in this movie. The more memorable developed characters are like Jin and those two dudes there, the like wandering samurai guys, and Donnie Yen and Beard Guy, Chirrut Imwe, and Baze Malbus. I only know their names because of like books and comics about them. In the movie, they don't really make their names explicit. Then there's the robot there who's this darkly humorous character. He's cool. I like the bad guy. He's cool. I like Saw Gerrera. He's cool. Plus, he was from Clone Wars, and that's cool. I don't think he should be as old as he is here, but whatever. So anyway, cool flick. Like it. There's no commentary, unfortunately, and I really wanted to know what was going through the minds of everybody when this movie was being developed and made. So yeah, that's about it, but I do have this Mandalorian double feature DVD thing, which I think is a bootleg, but I don't know for sure. It's a really good bootleg if it is one. Anyway, it has the first two Mandalorian seasons. I wasn't really too interested in Mandalorian until, like, I was, what was it? I went to some YouTube channel where they had, like, some Power Rangers cover music, and I looked up the Magna Defender cover, and a bunch of people in the comments said, this is like the Mandalorian theme. And I was like, is it? I went and I looked up Mandalorian's theme, and I was like, holy crap, that is almost the same theme for a very similar type of character. Weird. So, that got me interested in seeing the series. So, I don't remember where I actually saw the first episode. I looked it up online somewhere. It didn't have the whole episode, it had like the first 10 minutes. And I was like, it's okay. And I found this DVD really cheap on eBay. It was up for bid for 10 bucks, so I bid on it. Somebody else outbid me, so I bid like $12 or 13, whatever. I think I ended up bidding like 15 at the end, and I won it. So I got the DVD set, and I watched all of it, and I really liked Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. And, not really anything bad to say about it. It was a really good show. Then, yep, that's it for the, like, actual DVDs and physical media that I have of Power Ranger, or Star Wars. I keep thinking about Power Rangers. I really want to do another Power Ranger video. Anyway, with Star Wars, I really like Star Wars, but I'm definitely not as big a fan as some other people. Some people, Star Wars is their whole lives. Like, everything they do is Star Wars, and I think that's probably why Last Jedi gets so much hate, and also so much love from weird people who don't like to discuss the problems with it, like the bomber ships. I hate the bomber ships. They're the first time in Star Wars I ever looked at one of the spaceships and said, no, that doesn't make any freaking sense. It's Star Wars. Why am I thinking about the practicality of one of the ships? That doesn't make any sense. Why does Last Jedi make me think about that? I don't want to think about that when I'm watching Star Wars. I want to think, hey, cool, a bunch of friends going out on an adventure, stopping the evil empire. That's usually what it is. Anyway, oh yeah, and that's something that I really hate. In the sequel trilogy, it's not the Empire, it's the First Order, or New Order, or whatever it is. I just call it the Empire. It's the frickin' Empire. But, like, sequel trilogy fans will get so mad at you if you call it that. It's kind of like, Hunger Games. When you oversimplify the plot to Hunger Games, the fans will eat you alive. I don't really know what else to say, but yeah, there's all my Star Wars junk. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.